It's from Hannah O'Keefe, and it's looking at some of the similarities and differences between database search strategies and computer programming. And she puts why information specialists should consider upskilling.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Hannah O'Keefe. I'm one of the information specialists at Newcastle University. Today, my lightning talk is to look at why I believe information specialists should consider upskilling and learning to computer program. So let's start with search strategies. We're all familiar with this. What we're asking our searchers to do is to iterate through the database, find specific items, words or phrases within the text, and produce a final output as a body of literature. And to achieve this, we use brackets, wildcards, and Boolean logic. You can see here I've put a very small example up, which is using truncation and Boolean logic to search the title, abstracts, and keywords. Underlying this search, we're asking it to iterate through every single record in the database. To first check the title to see if it matches our string, and if it does, then to return that record. If it doesn't, then please check the abstract. And if it still doesn't, then move on to the keywords. And this will keep going back round through every single record until it reaches the last record in the database, where it will exit the loop. This is based on a series of true and false statements, and it basically translates your search strategy into a set of code. So what does this code look like? Well, it consists of an outer loop which asks it to look at every record in every database. It then has a series of inner loops that asks it to look in the title, or the abstract, or the keywords. And if it still can't find a true statement that matches, then to skip that record and move to the next one. So this is a very simple example of a Python loop. There are other languages available, and they will look different depending on which language you use. But this relates to our skills already. We are so used to using brackets and wildcards and booleans, and they're really the basics of any programming language. We already know how to balance them. You know that if your brackets aren't balanced, the database will give you an error message. And this is exactly the same with computer programming. And different languages are like translating the search strategies between databases. So we know that the thesaurus headings and the wildcards will be different in different databases, and we need to be able to translate between each one to ensure that our search runs correctly in each of the databases. It's the same with different languages. So why should you consider it? Well, there are benefits. Learning to code opens up a world of possibilities, and it's not just for understanding this underlying database system. We can use it to automate processes. We can use it to text mine to try and understand the content of our literature. We can use it for text processing, for cleaning and manipulating our data, and to be able to produce graphs and images and to map terms and words and frequencies. And it's a really good skill that employers are very keen to look for. So with everything, there are cons. It does take time and commitment to learn, and it can be expensive to take some of the advanced courses. I can guarantee you will mess up. Nobody ever gets their code right on their first try. And this can be really frustrating. But if you can overcome these hurdles, it is all worth it. So where to start? First of all, pick a language. Python and R are generally considered to be some of the simpler languages. And I would recommend to start with something like this, because you can start simple to learn how to create basic for loops, how to manipulate vectors and matrices, and it's a really good place to start. And a lot of the courses that are available will start with these simple steps, and we'll talk you through it. There are also forums available, and these are really, really helpful. If you Google any of your problems, these forums are out there with some really knowledgeable people that are really keen to help. There are online courses available from places like Coursera and Udemy and Code Academy. There's many, many others. Some of them are free, some of them are paid-for services. But find one that suits you and explains things to you in a way that you can grasp. And finally, just to check with your institutes. Some of them will provide these courses as part of upskilling and staff training workshops. Ask for funding if needed, and maybe arrange day courses with an outside training facilitator to help you and your team really get to grips with coding. So thank you for listening and happy coding, and I hope some of you will consider upskilling. Thank you.